Hello dear students, this is the first lecture for class 9th related to third chapter, that is gravitation. And in this lecture we will discuss about the concept of gravitation and what is the importance of gravitation and how gravitation works in the whole universe and what is the basis of gravitation, and with the help of gravitation we will define the concept of gravitational constant. And the first law or the basis law, that is given by Newton's. So in this lecture we will discuss about the Newton's law of gravitation in details. Just see what is the concept of gravitation. Gravitation concept firstly observed by Newton's when he saw that the apple fall down the ground, and he observed why the apple falling towards the earth, why not moving away from the earth or not moving in upward direction. Then he thought, and after much more discussion he just reached to the conclusion, and that discuss there is a particular region. Behind the region there is a concept of force, and the concept of force on behalf of the mass factor. When he just explained about gravitation, then he take the concept of mass, and whenever in the whole universe when two bodies having mass, then they must be attract whatever their mass, no matter, but they have to attract each other. The force of attraction that depends upon the mass factor. Whenever the mass having heavier, then the force will be greater, and whenever the mass having smaller, then the force will be lesser amount. And the contact forces here no matter, only one the force of, that is mass factor. Whenever two body having mass lies at two different position, then they attract each other. And the concept of attraction, how much greater or how much lesser, that depends upon the distance of separation and also depends upon their mass entity. It means if having greater mass, then applying greater force, if having less mass, then applying less force on each other. But whenever taken product term, then they applying equal force on each other. That's why whenever a body just having less mass, then in the body having greater acceleration produced. That's why the apple moves towards the ground while the earth not move towards the apple, because apple and earth both having mass and both are applying equal amount of force on each other. But the apple having least mass, it means the acceleration produced in the apple is what, greater amount, but the earth having greater mass, that's why the acceleration produced in the earth will least value. That's why the movement of earth not observing, but the movement of apple towards the earth is observing by everyone. So whenever two bodies having different mass, then the force of attraction according to Newton's law. Just see what is the concept of Newton's law. Here two bodies, m1 mass and m2 mass, kept r distance away from each other, then the concept of force according to Newton's law of gravitation, very important law. This law is applicable in the whole universe, and same concept is given in class 11th also, so you must concentrate here. What is the concept and what is the importance of this law? Listen again. The force of attraction, this body attract this body towards itself, and this body also attract this body towards itself. It means both the body attracts each other by applying equal and opposite forces on each other. So according to Newton's law, according to Newton's law, the force of attraction between any two bodies depends upon following. Here force of attraction between any two bodies depends upon following means here number first term, that is force of attraction directly proportional to product of their masses, and this force of attraction also inversely proportional to square of distance between both. When we just combine these two equations, then we will get here proportional m1 m2 upon r square. And always remember one thing, as I explained earlier, what whenever proportional symbol replaced, then a constant term is used, and the constant term f is equal to what? Capital G m1 m2 upon r square. Very simple derivation of this one, where G is gravitational constant, where G is gravitational constant, and its value, the value of gravitational constant, very simple, value of capital G 6.67 into 10 power minus 11. This value, it is obtained by experimental concept, and the value here fixed, that never changes in the whole universe. That's why this is also known as universal constant. And the unit of this capital G from this formula, when we multiplied r square in F, then the unit of F, that is Newton, and r square, that is meter square, and whenever these two masses product forward towards left side, then kilogram, that is kilogram square, whenever transferred towards left in denominator will be what? That is upon kilogram square. So unit Newton meter square per kilogram square, and value magnitude term, that is 6.67 10 power minus 11. This is the value of capital G, and this value is fixed over whole universe. That's why also known as universal gravitational constant. The very simple law, that is Newton's law. According to this law, whenever any two bodies lies at two different positions having different masses, no matter, but they applying equal and opposite forces on each other. But what is the matter behind the apple fall only towards the earth, not earth move towards the apple? The concept is only one, the mass factor. Mass of earth too much greater. That's why the acceleration produced in the earth is what? Negligible. But the mass of earth is, whenever just compared to the mass of apple, then means much more times greater than the mass of apple. But the apple mass having least value, that's why the acceleration produced in the apple is greater factor. That's why the apple move towards the earth, while earth not move towards the apple. This is very interesting concept about the fact that how Newton's observed that apple falling towards the earth, and then think about at that time why the apple falling towards the earth, why not apple just moving away from the earth, what is the reason behind this. And then about that thinking, when he just discussion with many concepts, then observe that what, anything whenever dropped from certain height, then what, moving towards the earth. And on behalf of only one concept of force, that is what, force of attraction. In the whole universe, this force is valid in between two bodies. Whenever two bodies having mass, then they are applying force on each other, and this one force, only one nature, that is what, attracting force. There is no chance of repulsion, only one, the force of attraction. Listen again, according to Newton's law, the force of attraction that is directly proportional to product of masses, and force of this attraction also inversely proportional to square of distance between them. And when we combine these two, then here proportional m1 m2 upon r square. Whenever a proportional symbol is replaced in any physical continuity of equations or equation continuity, then we used a fixed constant, and that the value of constant observed from experimental view. There is no chance of direct conclusion, there is experimental view, and on behalf of the experimental view the value is used here, that is what? Capital G. And the capital G here, gravitational constant, is also known as universal gravitational constant, because this value never changes from place to place. This value is fixed, and the value of this capital G 6.67 to 10 power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. That's all for today, and we will discuss about many examples that occurs in our real life on behalf of this gravitation concept or gravitational force concept, or on behalf of force of attraction that applying by one body on another body. So that's all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you so much.